Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet yet again for another tutorial. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are doing part 2 of our granny circle or mandala if you will. As you can see it is looking simply gorgeous and I've managed to flatten out those sides. You know how we said they were all bobbling? Yay, they are flat. Isn't that terrific? Okay, you will need obviously your next color. We stopped at the orange. You will need your purple, pink, white, green and blue for this tutorial. If you are new to the channel, firstly welcome. Secondly, you can actually do part 1 of this tutorial. The link to this part will be in the description box down below and then you can come back and join us to do this particular part today. Okay, you will need your crochet hook. Oh, sorry about the lighting there, guys. You will need your crochet hook, you will need your scissors, and you will need your sewing needle or weaving needle, darning needle, whichever you want to call it. In this tutorial, I managed to flatten out these edges because everybody was saying how when they went further on, the edges kind of wobbled, and they could still wobble. I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping they don't. But I've managed to flatten them out by not doing, if we look carefully, let me show you quickly if I can find it. There. Not there, there. Oh, where is it, where is it, where is it? 4, there we go. We did 4 double crochets in this particular row, which was part of the pattern. And I thought, that kind of pushes everything out a little bit. So what I might do from now on is just do the 3 double crochets in that row. And in that particular row, when we get to it, we've only done 3 double crochets. So that is what's helped us or helped stop that little wobble. So let's hope that when I work out the 3rd part to this series, that we can continue on with the blanket and not have to worry about any wobble until we get to the border. Okay, so this is part 2. You have already completed part 1. So let's get started with part 2. Good luck, guys. Alrighty, let's move everything out of the way because all we need right now is our small piece that we're working on. And of course, let me get a bit of blow up here. Our next color, which will be the purple. So we're actually restarting our colors. We went from orange, purple, pink, white, green, blue, and orange again. So now we are starting our purple. And our purple row, I love the purple row because it's really quite basic. Okay, so we are going to find anywhere you want to start. I'm just trying to see if I can find the part where I finished off, and you know what, oh there it is right there. So we're not going to start there, we're going to start right over here in a different place. It doesn't really matter, you can start wherever you like. Grab your thread, let's blow up the little screen here, there we go. Okay, what's happening here with my lighting? Here we go. All right, we're going to pull the loop through. That's better. All right, now you grab your tail end, pull it over like we've been doing all along, and then you chain 1, 2, and 3. Easy so far? Of course it is, because we've done this part before, haven't we? So what I want you to do is do the 2 double crochets, and remember we're crocheting over that thread, okay? Even though we're crocheting over it, we're still gonna weave it back in. Why? Because yours truly is a stickler, as you know. Okay, so 3 double crochets, actually 2 and then the chains, but the chains will classify as 1 double crochet. So 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 2, and then we guess what? 3 double crochets in the next space you come to. 1, 2, 3. Just a quick tip, guys, don't do your double crochets too loose, and because that will actually make the sides wobble a little bit, so make sure you keep them nice and tight. Chain 2 and 3 double crochets. So that is how basic this row is. We are going to 3 double crochet, chain 2 all the way across until we get to there, and then we'll meet up. Okay, so here we are at the end of the purple row. Okay, what you should have is your 3 double crochets and your chain 2s in the middle there. Oh, it's a bit funny, this one, isn't it? The lighting today is shocking. Okay, so now we're going to put our, let's blow that up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, now we're going to put 3 double crochets in that very last space. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then you are going to find the top of your 3rd chain right there. Okay. Pop your thread through, because we're doing our slip stitch. Of course, mine just happened to be so tight. There's your slip stitch. Pull it through there, chain 1, cut your thread, and pull it through. Okay, and there you have it. All right, I'd cut my thread before, sorry guys, but you need to cut your thread and pull it through. Okay, beautiful. Yes, now we are going to add the pink, because that is our very next color. So your purple and your pink, yes. So we're going to find a place where we weren't, what do you call it, where we weren't using our thread. You don't have to, that's fine. I'm going to find a place where we've got these 2 right here underneath. Now the reason being is because this next row, the stitch is a tad different. Let's move this over so we can get some lighting, that's better. Okay, so this row is a tad different than the other one. Bring your yarn over. Blow that up a little bit, and here we go. We're chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3. So the cluster sets are the same. So you're doing a 2nd double crochet and a 3rd double crochet. Okay. So now you've got your 3. Okay. You're chaining, because you've got a cluster set underneath there. You can pop that at the back. Sorry guys. Because you've got a cluster set there. See how it's a double cluster set? You need to chain 3. 1, 2 and 3, jump into the next space and do your 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Now if you look carefully at this one, that's a 3 there. See how you got your double? So you're just going to chain 2 for this one. 1 and 2. You'll understand it better when I go through the pattern, okay? So you're going to jump into this square right here, this space here, and you're going to put 3 double crochets. Okay? And then we're going to, we haven't hit that orange right there yet, okay? So we're still going to chain 2, 1 and 2. Then we're going to put 3 double crochets right here. So now we've hit the orange section. Okay, 2 and 3. All right, so we've got to see how we've hit that orange section. We now have to chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, then we put 3 double crochets in there. 2 and oops, don't lose a stitch just like I just did. Good on you, Mary. 2 and 3. All right, we're going to stop there and I'm going to show you what we need to do. So you can do this off air and you don't have to listen to me talking all the time, okay? So, see where your double cluster sets are? That's where you're going to chain 3. Your singles, you're chaining 2. Your singles, 2, and then you've hit that double cluster set, you're going to chain 3, right above the cluster set. All right? I hope you understand that. If not, it's 3 double crochets, chain 3. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 times, and then 3 double crochets, chain 3 once. So you're doing 3 double crochets, chain 2 3 times, and 3 double crochets, chain 3 once above your double cluster set. I hope that makes sense. All right, so continue in the round until you get to there, and I'll meet you up. All right, so we're at the end of the row. Okay, we have chained 2 to pop into our next space. Okay, let's bring that up. Okay, so we're doing our 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, whoops, and 3, and then we chain 2, 1 and 2, and of course we slip stitch on the top of that third one. It's a lot loose this time. Pull the loop through, and then through there, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut your thread. And there you go. So this one here, the way I've done it, in the previous tutorial when I did this granny circular mandala, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I actually did 4 double crochets in this pink row. Now I thought it's possible that was the reason why it was getting wobbly. No, the reason it was getting wobbly was because we're pumping in these double sets here. However, I figured what I will do is I will make this row here a lot smaller with your 1 double crochets less in each set, and let's hope this adjusts our little wobbly look about the mandala when you reach the end of the mandala. Hopefully this helps. I don't know, but I'm willing to try anything once or twice, maybe even 3 times. Okay, so let's get cracking with the next color. The next color after pink is the white, and if you're looking carefully at the white, you pretty much know what you need to do. In your chain 2 spaces, you are doing, I'm going to show you anyway, but you are doing your 3 double crochets, all right? And in your chain 3 spaces, you are doing your cluster sets, your double cluster set. So let's grab the white. Oh, just give me 1 second. I've made a mess of the white. Have a look at that. A big mess. Just a moment, guys. Alrighty, guys. We start in a spot where we don't have a thread. Up to you. That's where I'm doing it. And I'll start in a single cluster set, only because the next one will be a double cluster, and it'll be easier to understand what I mean. Or maybe we could just start in your double cluster so you know. That's a better idea. Start in your, see that double cluster set there? Start above that one, okay? All right, so what we're doing is we are obviously pulling our loop over, chaining up 3, 1, 2, and 3. Oops, don't lose a stitch like I did. And 3. And we are doing 2 double crochets in there, 1 and 2. Then we are chaining 1 and putting another 3 double crochets in there, and that's your double cluster set, okay, in your chain 3 space. I hope that made sense before. Okay, so now we are chaining 2, a 1 and a 2, pop that thread over there, and we are now putting a single cluster set in the next space. Single cluster set meaning 3 double crochets, whoops, and 3, chain 1 and 2, and we are putting a single cluster set in the next one, 2 and 3, and then we are chaining 2, or 1 and 2, and then we are putting 3, oh hang on a minute, we're out into our next double, see there, we are putting a double cluster set in there, so it's 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets. Okay, easy so far? Of course it is. We've done all this before. We've just done it differently, that's all. 3, and then we chain 2, 1 and 2, and just stop there for a moment and I'll show you what we're doing, so you know exactly what to do in this row. You don't have to watch me doing it, the whole thing. Okay, so you are doing a double cluster set, chain 2, single cluster set, chain 2, single cluster set, chain 2, double cluster set. Double cluster set is a triple, 3 double crochets and a chain 1. So these sets here, I've got chain 1 in them, but every time we jump to the next chain space, there's a chain 2. So you've got your double cluster sets, your 2 singles, and your double cluster set, all above the last bit. All right? I hope that makes sense. So what you're going to do is continue in that manner until you get to the end of the row here, and I shall meet you up. All right, so here we are at the end of the white row. Okay, we are going to blow it up a little bit so you can see. We have chained 2 to hop into our next space, and it's a chain 2 space, so we're only going to put 1 cluster set in there. I hope that helped before when I said put a cluster set. Just put 1 cluster set in the chain 2 spaces and put the double cluster set in the chain 3 spaces. I hope that helped. Okay, so we're chaining 1 and 2, and we are slip stitching at the top of the, I've done a nice tight one there. Oh gosh. Okay guys, let me have another look, real close up look there. I hope you don't crochet as tight as I do, guys. Oh, dearie me. Here we go. I've loosened that stitch up, and there you go. All right, so we're going to pull the loop through, chain 1, and yes, we are going to cut our color and get ready for the next color. So as you can see, oops, sorry about that, it does bobble that little tiny bit, but not as much as it did before. In our previous tutorial, which I've left the Granny Circle somewhere else, it's the red one and the red blue one. If you're interested in it, it will be that red blue one. You will see it in the same stash busting series as this one, and I'll also pop a link in the description box down below so you can click on that as well. However, we are doing our mandala blanket today. We are not doing the small circle. Okay, next color is white, next color is green, and your green is here. Beautiful. We like the green very much. It's my favorite in this series here. Not my favorite color. You guys know my favorite color is the 80s red. Yes, you all know that by now. By the way, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell button so you can receive further tutorials in your inbox. For the regulars, you know what you're doing. So let's get started. Again, I don't like to start in an area where I have casted off. So let's go to another area, and it doesn't matter in this row where we start. Why? Because remember, we started with our purple row before. We're just going to repeat that row. So we're going to pop our hook in here, pull the loop through. You know how to do it. Pop it over there, chain up your 3, a 1, a 2, and 3. Oops, I did that a bit loose. Give it a bit of a tug. There we go. Put 2 double crochets over it. One. Gee, this is not going well for me, this one. Let's try that again. 1. Here we go. Now we're under control. 2. Gosh. 2. All right, here we go. Okay, so what did we do in the purple one? We did 3 double crochets and we chained 2. So we are going to chain 2, 1 and 2. And then we're going to 3 double crochets in your next space. Simple, yeah? 2 and 3 and chain 2, 1 and 2. And then you're going to do your 3 double crochets in your next space. 2 and 3, chain 1 and 2. And what you're going to do is 3 double crochets in each space, including that single space right there. Okay, so you're going to pop 3 double crochets in between your chain 1 space, 3 double crochets on your 2, 3 on your 2, 3 on your 2, and your 3 double crochets in between the chain on your double cluster sets. So do that all the way along. Meet me up to there. And guys, we're going to fly through this row. I know we are. Catch you up. All right, so here we are at the end of our green row. Okay. All right, let me blow this up a little bit. Oh, that's probably too close. Sorry, guys. Okay, now I ended up in a section where there's a chain 1 space. Okay, so we've chained our 2 there, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets in that chain 1 space. Now I'm already starting to feel that this may curl. Okay, don't panic. I will find a way to stop it from curling in our next tutorial. Okay, so we're chaining 1 and 2, and we are slip stitching at the top of that nice tight chain right there, and pull that through, pull a loop up, cut your yarn and get ready for your next color. Okay, but before you do, guys, I don't know whether we should leave it as part 2 there now. This tutorial is getting very, very long, but have a look at it. Even though it's bubbling, it's not as extremely bubbled as it was before when we did it the other way. What I changed was, so you can see the difference, is if you look carefully, there is your 4 double crochets in your blues, right? When we did, I think the colours are confusing you, sorry guys. So your 3 double crochets in your cluster set there, see your first and your 2 cluster set there, your single one is 3 double crochets, your next one is your 4 double crochets. Well, in this one I didn't do 4, I just did 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and that's what we are going to do for the rest of the tutorial. So this is part 2. What I'm going to do is probably come back with you for part, no, you know what? Let's do the next row. Let's do the next row, and then we'll come back in next week or in about 3 or 4 days time, and then we'll finish off. All right. So in the meantime, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Why? Because, you know, I'm crazy like that. Sorry guys, I hope this tutorial is not too long, but we are going to put our hook in any cluster set. I like to put it in a space where the space below helps me to know that the chains are going to be 3 up the top. So first we're going to put our normal 3 double crochets in that spot there. First you obviously pull up your loop. It is blue, isn't it? Yes. I'm thinking, have I got the right colour? All right. So you put chain 1, 2 and 3. Just give it a bit of a tug. And we are going to crochet 2 double crochets over that thread right there. 1 and 2. And then we're going to chain, because we're in the above the double set, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now this may wobble, and this may be the reason why it's wobbling, because we are chaining 3 all the time above the double cluster set. However, when I do a border, it will be a little bit different and it'll even out all that bubbling, okay? I hope it will anyway. I'm not lying, I'm trying. I actually am trying. So now we're just going to put 3 double crochets in that next space as normal. However, like we did before, in every other space, there'll be chain 2 above these and then chain 3 above your double cluster set, okay? So now we are chaining 2, a 1 and 2. Pop your 3 double crochets in the next space. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 1 and 2, because it's a single cluster set, 2 rows below. 2 and 3. Now just check where we are. We still haven't hit the double cluster set, so it's still chain 2. 1 and 2. And then 3 double crochets in your next space. 1, 2, 3. Now, I know this has got my thread hanging off, but don't even worry about that. See the double cluster set there? You need to chain 3 above that. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that is what we're going to do for this row. Okay, we are going to do exactly that. Come across to here. Come across to there and wait for me there, okay? Okay, so here we are at the end of the blue row. I've chained 2 there because I've only got the 1 white cluster set underneath. Let's just blow that up a bit so you can see. Okay, so I've chained 2. I'm going to pop my last 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to chain 1 and 2. And yes, we have to do that dreaded slip stitch in that tight stitch. It's not so tight this time, is it? Pull a loop through, pull up a loop, cut your thread, and pull your loop through. Okay, so what we have officially done differently is that we've omitted the 4 double crochets. and we've started putting the 3 double crochets instead. Okay, I'm hoping that will help, and in fact already I can feel it nice and tight. The other way it kind of wobbled up and it went like this, and it was all wobbly and it was quite messy. Now I'm hoping that this works in part 3. So we are now officially at the end of part 2. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Don't forget to weave in all these ends before we meet back for part 3, and get ready to see how we're going to get rid of these little curves and little bobbles. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you liked the tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Also, if you want any of the previous tutorials for this particular piece, because we started here, so if you want any of the previous tutorials, the information to those tutorials will be in the description box down below. That will be part 1 actually. So part 1, this is part 2, your next one will be part 3. Thank you so much for joining, and ciao for now.